you already know, and I like it. Take you to the mall, 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 to the mall.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. Happy Friday out there to everyone. Subscribe. YouTube. Lock in with us. Patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. Lef, how you feeling, man? It's Friday, bro. I had to bring your boy in, man, because that's about all the streams he's gonna get right about now.
That's right.
K-Dots keeps stepping on his neck.
Yeah, you got a lot going on right now in California.
Had the concert.
Well, he's probably not bothered though, because he's like,
he's bothered. He has an ego. Come on, bro. He's a man. We all bro. We all have egos, bro. He's bothered. Like, he can come out of it.
Yeah, he can
come out of it. But he's a little.
It's only been 2 weeks.
No, it's been going on for a minute, bro. Not like us. It's been. Yo, and we are going to start this show off with a special guest. First of all, we are brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure you do so
responsibly. Got to do responsibly.
We're going to start out going out to the 2024 Juneteenth golf outing. And look, man, I'm mad I'm not there, bro. Because I don't know about you, because there's nothing like a good fish fry, my brother, on a Friday, bro.
Nothing like
you know
it.
What I mean? Some people might not know about it.
Friday specifically.
Fish fry, spaghetti, hot sauce.
See, that's a Midwest thing. The fish and the spaghetti is a Midwest thing. They look at fish and spaghetti over here. It's like, why are you mixing your meals? I'm like, oh, y'all so far off.
Well, because a lot of people view spaghetti as just a primary meal. Spaghetti and meatballs. But you got to have it as a side with the fish fry.
As a side. I think as a side is just such a great way to compliment something.
Yo, so we go out and we bring in our special guest, our brother Trevor Morris, man, who's always supporting us and with us. T. Morris, what's up, baby?
What's up, fellas? How you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you, man.
We got you. Well, thank you guys, man, giving us the opportunity to share what we're doing out here in New Jersey. I heard you guys talking about the fish fry, and we may have to cut this course quick so we can get out there and eat. But appreciate you guys giving us the opportunity to share. All
right, now what you shooting today? Hey, what you gonna shoot today?
Man,
we gotta start it up. We gotta
shoot too many trees out here. I'm pulling the green thumb right now because we're playing a lot out here.
Yo,
that's right.
Bring a lot of balls, bro. I understand.
Sir.
Bring a lot of balls. So tell us a little bit about the event, what is benefiting, who is benefiting, and some of the connections to Notre Dame and some of the former players you have coming out to support.
Well, let me just show you guys because, it's good and it's fun to be able to plan something like this. But when you have a team behind you of folks who just really want to give back, dedicated to community, and just doing really good, positive things, man, it's just you can't do it without them. So I'm going to give you the panorama to the team that's doing it out here.
Yes, sir.
Charlie Gonzalez. Say hello to the camera and say hello to Lucky Lefty. Got Plainfield YMCA. You got Somerset YMCA. You got former Rutgers basketball player in the house. Daryl Smith in the house right here. You got Trooper Cruz and his son Javi out here. Got the Up team out here. So we're out here in the heat, just trying to get through this event and just having fun doing some good things, trying to just give back and do as much as we can to help kids out and give them opportunities.
Oh, you talk about all the things you've been doing, not only in that community up there in New Jersey, but around the South Bend area. Just talk about the impact that you're making and some of your plans moving forward as far as the things that you guys are doing.
Well, in terms of the community, we're just looking to create just educational opportunities, provide some resources for the students who may not have known they've had these resources. And like I said, with the team behind me and folks that already just have deep roots in our community, helping people like us out, it's a great honor to be able to do this on Juneteenth and, just work together and showcase just, all the great things that they've been able to do and move in the community.
Now, although Juneteenth flows through us as a culture and a people, it really should be celebrated at large for what it means and how people that are still trying to receive and walk in some of those things that were established. Even now in 2024, we talk about the immigration process and some of the things that are facing this nation and other issues. Just talk about how collectively we all can come together to be part of. It looks like you definitely have a great collection of people from various backgrounds out there from what you've shown us. But the movement that's going forth, man, the spirit of Juneteenth seems to be picking up steam all across the nation. And it's great that you have this golf outing, man. I'm just mad that I'm not out there to go ahead and shoot. Because I would definitely be
out here next time.
Yeah, I would be in the hundreds. I would be in the 100s, bro. So
Okay.
I'm just letting you know.
I'm trying to stay in the 100s. I'm trying not to get to the 200s. They stop the shots after a while. So, but not just, to kind of sum up, just like we were talking before, it's each one to each one. We individually have worked together with each person in this group and each person that you see here and beyond. We've been able to work individually together and do some positive things together. And then when it makes sense, when you've got enough folks supporting and just, able to do something with some time, we're able to really do more. And this will be our next trip, the 7th trip for students out to Notre Dame. So with us, just knowing from what we know with the experience that we had and being able to show that to students across the board means a lot. And then even beyond that, with like the YMCA, we have an Achievers program that they work really well with students in our area. So even if they don't go to Notre Dame, we still provide educational opportunities and chances for them to better themselves. So that's what it's all about. It starts with education, starts with food insecurity, and collectively through a lot of these initiatives, we've been able to do that really consistently.
Why is Notre Dame the perfect place to show young men and women there's more to what you probably experienced thus far in your life? Why is Notre Dame the perfect place for them to get that exposure? Like you said, even if they don't end up in Notre Dame, it is really an eye-opening experience for a lot of people in a special place.
Well, with Notre Dame, you have a lot of folks from diverse backgrounds there, and a lot of folks come from all throughout the U.S., and you're really stepping out of your comfort zone when you go there to be able to go through the academic, grueling effort there that you have. And then also culturally and just personally, through your growth, not really, having, a city or a large town that you can, really guide on, but just more so just challenging yourself to do better. So it's a special place for me, special place for a lot of the folks here that have either been or gone through that. And so, that is something that we want to share, and you kind of go from what and for us, this is just something great, a great experience that we want to share with others.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Before we go, we got to ask you how you feeling about this upcoming season, bro.
You know what? I mean, it's got a lot of talent behind us. I think it all starts and stops with, the first game. So A&M, we'll see. That'll be a predicate of what we do for the long haul. But having a seasoned quarterback is helpful. Having a really strong secondary and folks in the D, that helps as well. Kind of takes the pressure off the offense. My only key is how do we do up front? The big uglies. Offensively, are we able to really move the ball? And defensively, are we able to get penetration? So I think if we're able to do well there, and I think what we have on both sides of the ball, coaching-wise, gives me confidence. I mean, I would say 11-1 for me. I think that's something that I feel is an attainable goal. So
a feeling to have. It's a very knowledgeable feeling because you know what's coming.
Yes, sir.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that over-under in Vegas is 10.5. Trevor Morris tells you to go play the over right now.
Yeah, go play the over right now.
Always get the over. It's good money there.
That's right.
So let me do a panorama before we start to tee off. Get this fish fry in.
Get the fish fry in.
Appreciate you guys sharing the message. Appreciate you guys.
It looks hungry to me.
That's what and we'll save you a plate.
Hey, my prayers are that you guys hit them long and straight. Yes, and sir. nothing over 2 putts on the green.
There you go.
Okay, hey.
Challenge accepted.
Absolutely, man. Congratulations to you guys once again. The Juneteenth Golf Classic out there in New Jersey. I got Trevor Morris and everything that he's doing for young men and women, opening their eyes to a better life and a better future. We appreciate you for joining us right here on the Lucky Lefty podcast. And as always, go Irish.
Go Irish. Always love, man. Thanks, guys.
So I got Trevor Morris out there once again. you know, you can support them. You can go to the website. It is the 2024 Juneteenth golf outing with the Fish Fry, man. They're at historic African-American landmark Shady Rest Golf Club out there in New Jersey. Vinnie Curry, Ira Guilford, Bobby Brown, who was a politician in the New Jersey area, former Notre Dame wide receiver, is there, and also Jim Stone is involved with it. Left, man, Trevor is such a great dude, and he's been so generous to Lucky Lefty podcast. I won't even get into it. I'll just let you know he's been generous to Lucky Lefty podcast.
Hey, that's right. And you know what's so cool is the fact that, you know, the Lucky Lefty podcast has influence on the field and off the field. Trevor does so much work in the community, so much work within the Notre Dame structure that sometimes you don't know everything about till it happens. But, you know, shout out to that man for always working hard, connecting, putting the pieces together, and then us just being able to be a conduit to getting it out there, getting the word out there. That fish fry sounds pretty dang good to me.
Man, so you
heard? I know Notre Dame wasn't doing no Juneteenth stuff about 10 years ago.
No, not no fish fry type stuff. So are you a purely catfish guy? Perch?
I'm an orange roughy.
Nice. I'm not a salmon guy.
Oh, okay.
No,
okay, so you straight out the lake, the ponds.
I'm straight south, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That salmon
with the bones in it.
You see, a lot of us now in the culture, we choose to eat salmon, but that's something we were like brought into. That's not what we didn't grow up on salmon. I can tell you that.
The salmon, rice, and broccoli is a new thing.
We grew up on salmon croquettes.
See, that's different. It's cooked different.
They
cooked it different. And cook it all healthy with the great seed oil.
Yes.
And
no, none of that. It wasn't
salmon
done.
Croquettes, throw that thing in the fryer.
Yes.
You go with your grandma, put the, make them together. Yep.
Absolutely.
That's when it was right. You know, we used to have oyster dish where you melt the butter, put the oysters in there, you crunch up the crackers. See, that's some stuff that nowadays y'all get so commercialized. Y'all just do the turkey mashed potatoes and stuffing.
Okay,
but you got to get that oyster casserole and with oysters and mussels and stuff. You melt the butter down, you crunch the crackers up, and man, listen.
Yeah, see, we didn't grow up with that salmon and the tilapia and all these others. It
was salmon croquettes. That was fish.
Salmon croquette. Perch
and a fish dinner on Friday,
crappies,
double the mac.
Absolutely,
bring the bread with the. Come on, man, you go and it's at these lounges. It's not even like you don't go to these kitchens every day.
No,
when that weekend, that Thursday night, Friday night come, we call it hush puppies.
Yeah,
and it's a hole in the wall. They don't open often. Hell, they might give you might order some yams and they give you some collard greens and be like, we ran out of yam. They won't tell you. It's like a mystery box sometimes.
Like, do you have certain foods we're about to talk about Duce Knight ripping it up this summer? Ladies and gentlemen, we got one.
Summer.
We got one. Ladies and gentlemen, we got one. I understand. You might love everybody in that quarterback room, but ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we got one. I think the whole world is starting to realize it. That cat Gino came in and did work.
Yeah.
Did work. Ladies and gentlemen, we might have one.
Gino made Notre Dame look how it's supposed to. We're supposed to be pulling in them ones. Not these guys that you'd be like, wait a minute. Where did he come from? How did he pop on the scene? Now we got guys like, no, we heard about him. Big expectations coming in.
Yeah.
So I think that's the level of. That just shows you the level in which this program is. Year one, I don't think we could get a Duce Knight. Year two, we had to prove a little bit of something.
Yo, can I give a round of applause? We've said this before, dog, because I love truth, right? Lefty, you know I am, man. Tell me how you feel. If you can't stand me, you think I stink, my breath stink, I got a booger in my nose, tell me.
That's right.
Let me know.
Don't have me out here looking crazy.
Man. A lot of people didn't like it when it happened, but let me tell you something. Marcus Freeman, let me tell you something, boy. For you, in the midst of a season, your first season to have the mitigated gall to bring bring your quarterbacks in your office and say y'all ain't it. Y'all,
and
you didn't say that
in the hallway. Probably didn't even get them to the room. Probably got them in the hallway. They on their way to class or something.
Yeah, and that's not a quote. I'm not saying that's what he said. I'm just putting my little spin on it.
And it probably sounded similar.
Hey, I'm just letting y'all know. Y'all ain't it. Yeah. I'm not saying you can't get there, but I'm just telling you right now, you ain't it.
Say you should get a head start on that portal.
Hey, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna bring somebody else in. I'm just letting you know.
I'm just letting you know. This week 6. This week 6.
You can stay, you can compete. I'm just letting you know. Hey.
The hourglass has been turned over. It's ticking.
Yeah. Because there was no need. You know, something is toxic. That's toxic, bro. That type of relationship, because the quarterback head coach relationship is very important.
Oh,
very
important.
Absolutely. On every football team. You can't have a toxic head coach. You can't have a head coach really not feeling the quarterback, really not confident in the quarterback. You can't have that.
The head coach not confident in the quarterback, you're not going to get that continuity you need because he's not going to trust you. You know how you know? He's going to do what we did a lot last year. About 2 minutes left in the first half. What we doing? Taking a knee. We try to get to the locker room. Why are we trying to score with 1:30 left? No. We want to take a knee. We want to say we can go to the locker room up. We can refresh, replenish, but we're not going to strain ourselves thinking we got a quarterback that isn't a quarterback for us.
Man. So we'll get to Deuce in a second. We're going to have Malik really explain to you. I don't know if people really explain because it's not Elite 11. I don't know who's on the board, but y'all missing out on a bunch of TV money, bro. Ain't no way that shouldn't be televised at this point.
Ain't no way.
Streamed something.
Subscriptions. Peacock, where you at?
Anything. What? Y'all don't like money? Is that what it is?
That's what
we don't like money?
Because every year that should be a featured kickoff to the season because you know who your quarterbacks going into the year are.
Even if you're not showing the actual footage of the competition, just interviews on the side.
The interviews on the sideline were great. I gotta check 247 and all these other places that get my questions answered. They need to have a streamlined service of interviews, slight workouts. You know, they do all these tight shot angles. I don't like all that.
Yeah, I'm tired of dropping these ideas, man. I'm tired of dropping these ideas because you have.
I said doing them.
The 2 years ago, I was like, "Yo, Notre Dame needs to do their own version of Hard Knocks." We said it 2 years ago. All of a sudden,
and 2 years later, look.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Hey, we better quit saying and doing.
You know what? You know, let's build our own company and take it out there to Elite 11. How about that?
We're gonna have to. We're gonna have to. They already know us, so hell.
Yeah, they
it's just a matter of can we get them cameras in there, build the storyline? We there.
Man, dude, these 15s shoot movies.
That's right.
Let's do it.
You know what's so crazy? I heard that in China, they got phones that are like 5 years ahead of the iPhone. So like one of the phones had 5 cameras on it.
That's not shocking at all.
But they say this is the best thing smoking.
Hey, you believe that?
I don't know. Maybe the marketing got me. I don't know. Maybe the marketing got me.
Come on, man. You already know this was like if you just got a phone that existed like 5 to 7 years ago. Easy.
Yeah, that's what they say. This is an old 5 to 7 year ago phone.
Man. That's a whole nother discussion. Lucky Lefty podcast. That's coming up in a minute. I do want to say that Notre Dame has done an incredible job. This is the commitment Notre Dame has shown, in my opinion, Left. They've shown great commitment, not just in recruiting, not elevating recruiting with the coaching staff, the hire of Mike Denbrock, the hire of other coaches, retaining Mike Mickens, the staff. You know, the great things we continue to hear about the support staff, bro. Anytime you have success, it's from great things, hard things, and small things. All three are part of success, bro. And Notre Dame, once again, put their money where their mouth is, showing that they were willing to go ahead and keep the staff in place. And they need to be applauded for that. You know, we've taken
2 top coordinators.
Yes.
keep one after I'm sure he got plenty of calls from NFL, plenty of bags dropped. And that shows all about his character. Remember, Al Golden told you when he came 2 years ago that he came from Marcus Freeman. Marcus Freeman was a big reason of why he decided to come to Notre Dame, and he believed in what Marcus Freeman has done. And it's a testament to his word, him standing on his word by staying through the success. It's one thing to jump ship when it's all going bad, but he stayed during the success, and that shows a lot of why I think Al Golden is still there. It's because of Marcus Freeman. So not only does Marcus Freeman got to have retention with his players, he got retention with his coaches. Mike Mickens, another one that could have left. And I'm sure if we had a different head coach, both of those guys would be gone. Hell, Denbrock knows Marcus Freeman too. So I think that carries weight that's not talked about, because these guys in the world of where we live in today, especially what Notre Dame has been in the last 10 years, as it comes to coaches just getting a year or two and then dipping.
Mm-hmm.
They're not doing that with Marcus Freeman, and that's interesting. I mean, they've done it. Well, Tommy did, but Tommy's part of that stepping stone. We trying to get to somewhere else that Coach Kelly kind of like instilled. I mean, Coach Kelly gave a lot of guys head coaching jobs, if we being honest. Yeah, week 1, Coach Kelly gave him his coaching job. So I do think that for Marcus Freeman to retain like he's doing, that's next level, especially with 2 top coordinators. That doesn't happen in college football. Even Alabama, they may come back, but they'll leave after a successful year.
Yeah. Not just them. You've spoken to several players on the current roster that have spoken highly about the work of Amir Carlisle, the NIL collective, what they're building, helping players build their brand. Carter Osman, another part of the support staff, tremendous works with Chad Bowden, is very instrumental in these official visits being successful. And if you need an update on the official visits and where Notre Dame stands, you need to go over to the message board at Irish Breakdown right now. Go over to the message board. That's boards at irishbreakdown.com. I'm telling you, man, some great news left. Some great news coming out of these official visits. That's why I'm going to talk about this 25 class, wrapping it up, and why Deuce's performance is so instrumental. Let me tell you, Duce buzzing right now helps Notre Dame close in 25. Don't get it twisted. Yes, especially at the skill positions. Heck, that's one of the most important positions to close. We just talked to Trevor Morris, right? He was like, hey, the big uglies too. Well, we don't have a problem getting the big uglies.
We good on the big uglies.
On the offensive side, we can get the big uglies.
Yeah, we can stay ugly over there.
Yeah. The defensive side, all right. I think we're going to talk about this on the second half of the show. Where Notre Dame sits, I'm going to say this. Ladies and gentlemen, Notre Dame's 26 defensive line class will be amazing. The defensive line haul will be amazing if they simply win Chicago. That's it. If they win Chicago in 2026 along the defensive line, Notre Dame would be just fine. It's that simple. It really is that simple.
Yeah, and I think
that should be encouraging.
The Justin Scott experiment, or the expose that we learned from, is we didn't lose, we just learned that if you had an impact in recruiting and a staple in Chicago, then building the D-line shouldn't be as tough as we made it, because they do pop out every 2 years a 5-star recruit at that D-line coming out of Chicago. Chicago's one of the top 5 biggest cities. So to be that close to a top 5, one of the major cities in the country, and you're losing, and you're the closest in proximity, I mean, that's a fix that you can make. That's a fix you can make easy.
Can we be honest? Let's just keep it 100, right? We had this conversation. Somebody put it on the message board and I responded to it. It was actually a great thread. A lot of good comments from, you know, lots of sides of the conversation about what's going on in Chicago, right? And why does Marcus Freeman keep, you know, because it was really targeted at Marcus Freeman. And
that's right.
Why does Marcus Freeman keep losing elite Chicago recruits?
Oh, right? The hit piece.
And so, first of all, let's absolve Marcus. First of all, Marcus Freeman is the reason Notre Dame once again has a heartbeat in Chicago. Let's keep it funky.
100%.
Let's keep it funky. He is the reason. He's
not without the only reason. Condos, without buying condos, without
facts. Facts.
But we're gonna go to the basketball games. Oh, you got a basketball game? I'm showing up.
There's some other schools up in here that's blatantly
greasing pockets.
Oh, absolutely.
But it shows you how important Chicago is to the college football landscape. Would you say every championship team got what, 2 Chicago kids on it?
Mm-hmm. So see.
Oh wait. Why Northwestern ain't doing that? Oh, okay. Maybe they ain't recruiting the right way.
So I'm gonna say this, man. No disrespect, but disrespectfully. If that makes sense. The bridges were burnt. I'm gonna keep it 100. Just because you get some guys, you get a Miles Boykin, you know, you get Love, you get some guys from the outskirts that weren't the elite guys. They were good kids, but they weren't like the top 2 or 3
Miles
guys.
Morgan was top. Miles Morgan was a top player.
I have to go look back. I think Niles might have been a top 5 player in the state that year.
In Chicago, in Chicago. In Chicago. We had
he's adopted in. He went to Crete.
Oh.
Crete is literally on the border of Indiana. So we'll give it to him. He's in the area. Now
he's in the area.
We'll give it to him, right?
Okay.
Notre Dame didn't have a shot at Laquan Treadwell, who went to the same school as now.
Well, that was the first NIL deal that wasn't called NIL.
Oh, yeah.
Him, Robert Kimdichie, that 5-star class. Everybody was like, wait a minute. When did Ole Miss?
Laramie
Tunsil, all guys who end up going first round.
Going to Ole Miss, right?
Yeah, going to Ole Miss. And this was the first time Ole Miss popped on the scene like this. So, yeah, that was the first that was the first movement in transfer high school NIL type of deal.
Man, it's so amazing. So the conversation just continued on. Like I said, it was a great conversation. Everybody had some beautiful points, but I just wanted to point it out that you know, people tried to take shots at. They were upset that Taylor, like Taylor from the jump was. Dude,
he had 40 offers.
Taylor was all about championship, SEC, and he was honest about that. What are you talking about? Like, there is the days of the kids that grow up in Chicago, play football, and go to Catholic schools, and we just send them to Notre Dame are over.
It was done with Julian Love. Julian Love was the last one.
The control has shifted. The players, the young men and their families are in control of their destiny. They're in control.
Well, to a certain extent, because Notre Dame.
No. There is no to a certain extent, bro.
Notre Dame is trying to.
Let me tell you why. They burnt the bridges. Once the former staff burnt the bridges, and the Big Ten Network came in, and the Big Ten Network is on every morning, promoting the Big Ten, promoting Michigan, promoting Ohio State, class after class after class after class for a decade. We're looking at those schools. Then they start to realize, oh, snap, schools like IMG want us. Schools like Bishop Gorman want kids from Chicago. So now they're exposed to the SEC. And this ain't Marcus Freeman is in cleanup phase right now. He's cleaning up.
Yeah. Well, year 3, he's supposed to be cleaned up.
And getting kids like Burgess from a public school in Chicago. Cleaning up. So part of the cleanup, or the residue from the cleanup, is a Taylor that really didn't even give Notre Dame a good look. Just didn't. His interest was elsewhere from the jump, and he was honest about that. Very honest about that. Now, people can sit up here and talk about Justin Scott. They don't know anything about the kid. You know what? Notre Dame got in late.
They did.
They got in late.
Late.
That ain't got nothing. That has nothing to do with NIL. Nothing.
They got in late because they was snoozing.
They got no. It was some up to look, man. You could
45 minutes away is you're slipping on your pimping.
That left. You could talk. You know how you like somebody left, but it's bad timing because they're in a relationship with somebody.
Okay.
So what do you do, left?
You just stand by,
man.
Touch and go.
Man, you my sis. You my sis.
Oh,
you
hit them with the sis.
We just
See, this
cool.
is why guys and girls can't be friends because you hit them with the sis.
That's my sis, man. Hey, sis.
I don't like to say, mom.
Sis, you want to roll with us?
That's how you do it.
How you doing? I'm just checking on you, sis.
I'm just checking on y'all.
That's all I do. If you were checking his grades, making sure his grades gonna check out, if you were checking other things, making sure he was a fit, he should have been. Notre Dame should have been in sis mode with him.
Yeah.
We still locked in with you.
Yeah. We still locked in.
You could have been doing that since his sophomore year, but you didn't. Ohio State was doing that. Michigan was doing that. Other schools were doing that.
Yeah.
When other schools were saying, you're going to be the Russell Maryland to our program. You're going to be the turnaround. You're that dude. Making them feel special. He didn't get that vibe. I don't even want to get into the particulars.
It was leaving him on.
He didn't get that vibe. See, people think just because Chicago is close, it's different now. These Chicago kids know big-time programs want them.
And they're going to recruit.
The big-time offer is no longer Notre Dame in Chicago. It's not. Those days are over. You better come with it. You better come with it. And you better be ready to close. You better be ready to make them feel special. They made Christopher Burgess Jr. feel special.
That's right.
They made him feel special. That's why they got him over Ohio State at the end when it was back and forth the last 2 weeks. They made him feel special. Gino Gaduli made Duce Knight feel special.
Putting him
told you at the practice. At the practice, when all of those big-time recruits that were there the same weekend as Duce Knight, he was the only one in the middle of the field during the scrimmage. The only one. Hey, dude, you special. And we're not ashamed to let you know you're special. Come on. If you want the big-time kids, I don't care where they come from. You better be willing to make them feel special. The days of, yo, man, it's an honor to come to Notre Dame. Man, look, it's recruiting in 2024. Make these kids feel special. If not, they'll go elsewhere. I'll give you a little tidbit. It's a young man in Chicago that pretty much said, I'm taking my game day visits. I'm probably going to see Notre Dame twice. I'm going to see them at home and I'm going to see them on the road. But you know what he told me left after we got through talking about all the great things with the coaching staff, conversations, campus, vibe, family, all that stuff that you hear. He said, yeah, I'm going to take my game day visits to places that I can drive. I said, oh, does that mean that you're pretty much going to stay close? He said, no.
Stay close to home.
No. He said, no. He said, I'm going where I feel special. Well, I feel like a priority.
Hey, I can't blame you right there. That's right. And you going twice?
All that close. No, man. At the end of the day, you better recruit these dudes. Yeah, it's 80 miles away. It should make sense. But you better recruit. You better stay on top. You better make them feel special. Or else Georgia's coming. And they know it. That first Saturday last weekend when 26 kids started hearing from schools, oh, he was hearing from SEC schools. You better believe it. Oh, they're coming. Don't think it's just sweet because he's 80 miles away. Oh, he's 80 miles away. That should be a dub. That should be a dub, an easy dub. No. And whether they get the NIL up front or they get it when they're there, NIL needs to be part of the conversation. You need to get over that.
With a guy like Taylor, that's in the conversation.
In the conversation now.
Yeah.
That's the way him and his parents want it.
That's how they move.
His mother's a wonderful lady.
Yeah, they just know.
Venus Taylor is a wonderful person. Just because that's their decision, because people hear NIL and all of a sudden they try to make these parents out to be bad people. Do you see the way Jadon Blair's father is branding him after every visit? Just check out the social media. Go check out his Instagram page. Mr. Blair, you're doing a wonderful job with your son. Yeah. Wonderful. Promote the hell out of your son. It's your son. I don't care what school he chooses. Be a father. Be a father. Let these other people, these fan bases that get upset because you didn't choose their school, oh well. Shout out to you doing your job. Do you really think NIL conversations haven't taken place with Duce Knight, ladies and gentlemen?
Oh.
Doesn't matter if the check is cut before or it's cut during his time, wherever he goes. He's committed to Notre Dame right now. They got to do work.
Oh, yeah.
Up until December, they have to make Duce Knight feel special.
Because he's going to start getting these offers now.
And Duce Knight tells you, I hear from Marcus Freeman at least twice a week.
Oh, yeah. Marcus Freeman's like, look, that's on the calendar. That's on the calendar.
Marcus Freeman knows.
Thursday at 3, hit Deuce. Monday at 2:30.
Man.
Don't miss it. It's even written in red.
Man.
Hang on to this. Do not pass go until you call Deuce a couple times.
Ladies and gentlemen, the one thing I took away from that great conversation on the message board is we have to let go of how things used to be. We keep wanting Notre Dame to get to a certain place, but you can't do that without change. I saw the picture of the demolition of where they're going to put the new facilities, and I said, yo, dude.
Oh, in Chicago?
Yeah, you didn't see the picture?
Of the new indoor
no,
stuff.
I'm talking about the new facilities in South Bend next to the Goose.
Yeah, the new indoor stuff. Yeah.
I saw the picture and the bulldozers. I said, oh, all right, this is real. This is real.
Once we get that money in.
Oh, the money's there. The money's been there.
No, I'm saying once we put it in, we have no problem to get to work.
Ladies and gentlemen, Marcus Freeman is putting in work. He lost Taylor. That's not on Marcus Freeman. Justice Scott definitely is not on Marcus Freeman. I can tell you that 100%. Notre Dame got in the door with him because of Marcus Freeman.
Yeah, that's a fact.
His entire recruitment shifted when Marcus Freeman showed up on Roosevelt Road last January. Everything shifted. Got them in the mix. It is what it is. And guess what? You're not going to get you didn't get Nate Marshall in 25. Miami. You didn't get Lightfoot either. Miami. It's talent here, bro. Plenty of talent. And it should be very easy in one's mind for Notre Dame to just drive an hour and get whomever you want.
And if we're missing on guys like this, then it needs to be the other way, as in we're putting out D linemen, we're putting out O linemen from Chicago to be that beacon of light. What Justin Scott tell us? He like, man, I look at that roster, I'm better than half the people here. They ain't going. I don't want to go there and be the best the first day.
Look. I mentioned that, and people just they still want to grab on the head. They don't want to have that conversation.
He literally said, Yeah, I mean, Notre Dame's top and all that, but in comparison to Ohio State at the time, he was like, I look at that roster, and I don't see nobody that is complimenting or playing on
He
the
didn't even
side.
say. He didn't even say look at the roster. He said I'm looking at the class of guys I'm coming in with.
Yeah. Classic guy. He said, hey, no. He said, I don't want to be the best overall. Like, I just got there. So for us, that's a beacon of you got to get Ryan Mills into the league. He's got to have a great year. A Howard Cross, a Jordan Patello. Guys on that defensive front have to produce. So when Al Washington is going out to Chicago, going out and recruiting, he's like, man, I know y'all not maybe thinking fully about Notre Dame because of this, that, and the third. But the one thing you can guarantee is when you look in that room, guys are going to the next level. That's almost as great as the NIL offers. You can tell a kid. What Carnell Tate said. He said the same thing. He said, man, I don't know about y'all. Receiver room, I don't see nobody getting off.
He said the same thing. People, listen.
He said, I don't see nobody. He said, I want to be tapped in with my position coach, knowing that he can get me somewhere.
He said it live on this airway. He said it. He said it, and it just went right over.
Like, he must be in it. He must be in it for the money.
He's in it for the money. No,
you got Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson. You know, you got these Terry McLaurin, all these first-round picks in the receiver room. He's like, man, NIL and this. I just got to go and do my job. So Notre Dame in certain positions, we're not favorable from a on-look perspective where you're like, okay, that room, I can see myself in that room because they're already cooking. They can make me better and take me to the next level. Carnell Tate's looking at Ohio State room and saying, oh, they got Marvin Harrison Jr.? Oh.
Can I tell you something? That's my opinion. Sean Davis's opinion. Notre Dame has been, as far as the 2027 quarterbacks that have come in, Notre Dame has been very consistent that they're not going to give out offers until they see film. That's
fair. Yeah, they're not doing the 7-on-7 stuff. Yeah.
That's right. So I'm just going to use one quarterback that just happens to be from Chicago who went to the Irish invasion and turned heads, and Trey Taylor. Okay? Because I keep telling you, you have to make kids feel special, right? Because people were like, well, Trey Taylor doesn't have any offers. He goes to the Irish invasion, right? MAC schools are there. He comes away with no offer from Notre Dame, but MAC schools
ate him up,
send him offers. You want me to read the list of teams that have offered him since then? That. Without him, he hasn't taken a varsity snap left ever. He's never taken a varsity football snap. Ever.
And got offers coming from Irish invasion.
Ever. Since he left Irish invasion, Michigan offered, Miami offered, Ohio State offered, North Carolina offered, North Carolina State offered, and Colorado offered.
Wait, he went in with no offers.
No. When he went in, his offers were Indiana, Kentucky, Marshall, and Maryland. Those were his offers going into the invasion. After that, he hasn't thrown a single pass playing varsity football. This is what I'm telling you. Recruiting it, dude. All of that stuff you can recruit the way you want it. If you're not going to make these kids feel special, this young man has big time offers and does not have varsity football film. I want to explain that. In my opinion, because he was from Chicago, I would have just offered him. If I liked him, I would have offered him.
Just to put it out there.
I'm sitting here watching you. It's not like you're about to commit tomorrow. I know this. I know you're going to Michigan's camp. I know you're going to the camp in Kansas. I know all these things. You're from Chicago. I'm going to let you know I'm your first big time offer. That's just me. I would have had that bullet pointed. I'm your first big time offer. 70 miles away. That's how much we believe in you. The dog, hey, it's a dog fight now. Now he knows. Can you imagine being left? Can you imagine before you ever took a snap in high school? Can you imagine if you had 20 offers from Power 5 school?
That actually happened.
See, talk about it then, left.
That actually happened to me, which is funny. Well, we had a state championship football team my freshman year, and the quarterback had like 2 years left. So it was like, okay, do your time, get better, that whole thing. Sophomore year going into junior year, I haven't played yet. But I've been going to camps, this and that. So I went to Cincinnati camp. Now this is the sophomore year going to my junior. I only started 2 years.
Yeah.
My junior, senior year. The summer, though, of my sophomore going to my junior year, started doing the one-day camps and everything. And I went to Cincinnati. Butch Jones, this is before he got so I didn't go there, but he ended up taking Dobbs over there. Then he ended up leaving to go to Tennessee, took Dobbs with him. So that's how that happened. But Butch Jones, I'll never forget. I balled out at the camp. I didn't have any offers, but I felt good. I was just on fire that day. Brings me up to the office, and he's like, we're going to give you your first offer. Now, remember, your first offer from us means we love you the most.
Facts. That's what it means.
And I never forgot. He said, you're gonna get offers after this because they're gonna see we offered you, but we let you know that our giving you this first offer is us saying we have saw the importance and know what's coming. And we should have a special place in your heart.
Absolutely.
And I never forgot it. I mean, their quarterback coach ended up being the quarterback coach in Tampa when I ended up going.
And what you're saying is, if he had stayed, that probably would have been a major factor.
It would have been a major factor because I mean, that as a kid that hasn't had an offer yet or hasn't hit the offers that you're dreaming about, this, that, and the third, and a head coach is making it a point that, listen, me giving you this offer first. No, I know your situation. I know you want to play in college football. I believe in your talent that much. I want to pull the trigger first. A lot of these teams wait. Like once Cincinnati came, then Ohio State came, and all this stuff started triggering after that. But that first trigger is the hardest, and it does kind of mean that a little bit. Now, taking a step back, Cincinnati was everybody's first offer.
But at that time, you don't really. At that time.
So it was if you were going to play D1 football, your biggest indicator for that is if you got that Cincinnati offer. If you got the Cincinnati offer, that would trigger all your other. That's how you knew you was D1. If you didn't get that offer as a sophomore or junior, then you might not be D1 at that point. So I do think that Marcus Freeman has so many different strategies in how the perception of giving away a Notre Dame offer is. Because before, it was harder than finding the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I didn't understand how we was offering kids. Because it wasn't and they always masked it behind the whole, oh, we don't know if he wants to go there. Oh, the grades. Oh, this, that, and the third. So we never had a normal recruiting cycle because of the perception that was built about Notre Dame recruiting. Now, when kids are seeing, oh, a top receiver actually has an offer from Notre Dame. Because that was the thing that was killing me. It'd be the top 5 receivers or the top 5 whatever players in the class. None of them would have Notre Dame offer. None of them would have the Notre Dame in the top 10. Notre Dame wasn't even a part of it.
Hey,
Caleb Williams. Notre Dame never called Caleb Williams before or after he was transferred.
Crazy.
So
crazy.
Like,
we were the first call as soon as the clock hit
for Keaton Slovis, who's still trying to find a school to play for. Like, come on. So that's what I think the biggest hump Marcus Freeman had to get over, because it was a culture shock. IMG, them kids at IMG be like, Marcus Freeman down here when he get lost.
Hey, you know what? You just said something. So when Tommy was here, he hit up Keaton Slovis and went got Sam Hartman. Gino got here and immediately went and got Riley Leonard and then got Duce Knight to commit. Hey, I'm just
got a 5-star quarterback to commit 2 years.
Yes.
2 years before, like this whole he about to graduate thing, he been committed for about 1.5 years.
Yeah. That's why, CJ Carr, that's Tommy. Tommy
got
CJ Carr.
Tommy got CJ Carr.
That was his parting gift. That was his parting gift. And maybe that would have been the one to change the fortunes for Tommy as an OC. Maybe. But Notre Dame is at the point, specifically, I'll speak to Chicago, but I think they're doing this because I think the 26 class can be epic. I think the 25 class is really good. Because I think Notre Dame is about to shock everybody with the way they close. I think they learned valuable lessons the last 2 recruiting cycles. I really do. But as far as Chicago, Notre Dame better. K-Dot was born in Chicago.
Oh, here we go.
First of all, let me finish, man. Don't be disrespectful. Don't be disrespectful like that. Don't be disrespectful.
He just had a whole celebration on the West Coast.
No, I just said he was born here. You act like I lied. I didn't say we made the kid. I didn't say we made him. I just spoke a fact. He was born in Chicago.
Oh goodness.
And when it comes to can you allow me to give my entendre for Notre Dame? Good Lord, let me get my verse done.
You had threw Chicago in there, threw me off. That's all.
Let me finish the verse. With K-Dot being from Chicago, being born in Chicago, Notre Dame might need to adopt the spirit of K-Dot when it comes to Chicago recruiting. They might need to pop out and show cats. They might need to pop out. They need to pop out in Chicago and show Miami, show Ohio State, show Michigan, like, hey, this is our territory.
I agree with that.
Like Doc said, sometimes you got to pop out and show. Sometimes you do.
Yeah. Notre Dame will make a big splash. I think if we can close.
The case, if you don't like them being in your backyard, become the boogeyman. Become the boogeyman.
That's what I'm saying. That's the only way to stop them from just completely just trying to take over Chicago down the street from us is that if we go out there and we're dominating. Where kids are like, yeah, I know you came all the way out from Miami, you came all the way out from Michigan, but you see Notre Dame put 50 on them. Man. I'm trying to go play for them. Winning solves a lot of problems. However, the attention to detail and efforts on recruiting down the street is just something that we have lacked on because we've got so caught up on this whole national recruitment. Oh, we're getting kids from Africa, Hawaii, Canada, the Brazil, the Nova Scotia, and you flying all these places and not going down the street. You need to be able to take care of the home front first and then go out and travel the world looking for football players. We always thought outside was better than the backyard.
Dude, let me tell you something. Do you know what hurt my heart? It's not too many times we have a quarterback in the 26 class. It hurt my heart when Brady Hart committed to Michigan. It hurt my heart.
That's right. It hurt my heart.
I was like, oh no. Anywhere but
anywhere.
If you had gone to Clemson, I would have been like, okay. You had gone to Florida State, I would have been like, cool. This dude, Michigan got this dude. They made him feel special. Hey, there's a price to recruiting now, ladies and gentlemen. You might not like that. You might feel like it challenges the integrity of amateurism. Those days are gone, man. The days of kids waking up in Chicago and only watching Notre Dame on TV, those days are over. The Big Ten Network is on 24 hours a day, playing constant content and has been doing so for over a decade. And it's a major problem. It's a major problem. And Notre Dame needs to pop out and show these cats. We got bread too. We have our own network too. We have our own streaming service too. You got to pop out and show them. That's what time it is. Lucky Lefty Podcast. When we come back, Left is going to explain to everyone what the Elite 11 is. Because you can get excited about Duce Knight, his performance. Keelan Russell, boy, Alabama has one too. They might have one too.
Yeah,
Alabama might have one too.
They got one.
We're going to have Left explain it because he's been out there as an instructor, a bystander. Did you go?
Instructor, bystander, coach, participant,
yeah,
counselor,
all
speaker.
Of that.
Yeah, all of that. So
other side, he'll explain and break down the process and what it means. What it means that Duce Knight won MVP. Lucky Lefty Podcast. We'll be right back.
What's up, family? The merch shop is finally here. Lucky Lefty Network merch shop. We got it all. From the shirts to the hoodies to the hats to the nitty gritties. Come here right now. Shop with us. Come get the swag because you know, if anything else, we spin it different. You see the gritty. You see how we get down. It's elite.
Lucky Lefty, we're back at it. First hour, we talked recruiting. Heard from Notre Dame alum Trevor Morris. The Juneteenth golf outing with Notre Dame players in New Jersey, continuing to pour into young people and give them the exposure to Notre Dame and other universities around this nation. Sean Davis, the ONORA boys. Lefty himself, MALIK ZAIRE, brought to you by ONORA Whiskey at ONORAWhiskey.com. It is a premium American whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure that you do so
responsibly.
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, audio edibles each and every day. YouTube, Lucky Lefty Podcast. Subscribe, hit the thumbs up. It helps with the views. Share, leave your comments because we respond to all. Thank you so much for always supporting us. Patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. Left, what is the Elite 11? I don't know if a lot of people, we see the social media code, they're definitely missing the boat when it comes to revenue. I don't know what they're waiting on, but what is the Elite 11? Talk about the events, because we just hear this guy won this day, this guy won this, he won that. Give us an overall synopsis of what this competition is.
So basically, it's a snapshot of what you're going to get in the future from a top quarterback talent perspective. I think it's pretty cool because, you know, usually the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks that usually make the MVP and then the 2 or 3 under that usually have really good careers in college, and they're going to places that are familiar in terms of the landscape of college football and the teams that stay on top. So, for instance, Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields was 1 and 2 at the Elite 11 back when I went. This was the year Bryce Young was still in college. No, this was before that. But Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields just stood out. Now, these are high school seniors. But we all knew that Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields were the 2 most likely in that group to go to do the things that they did in college, and it's not a surprise. So if you want a snapshot of who's going to be that next up-and-coming guy, hell, Anthony Richardson was in Elite 11. Now, he wasn't worth a damn at the time, but he was talented. Elite 11 put him in that group because, I mean, clearly it panned out as a top 5 pick, which is, I mean, he was always strong, but in competitions like that, you're not going to see his game flourish the way, you know, others might. But he was in there too. So if you're a huge college football fan, I wish they would film more of the process. When we was doing it, we had a TV show and everything. I still got it on DVD. So So that was when, but also, you got to think of my class. We had Jared Goff, JT Barrett, Luke Del Rio, got Christian Hackenberg, Max Brown, guys that end up being somewhat of a premier player for their team. So if you want to know who's the next up and coming and the have-nots, what schools are going to suffer in the next couple of years because they don't see their name or their school in Elite 11? It's very rare.
It's a huge boost to recruiting for
Oh,
your
hell
guys
yeah.
to be at the Elite 11.
So to not see your school in Elite 11 is a problem. Because you're going to have some years where you're not having winning records. So for Duce Knight to be similar to me, going through Elite 11 and getting to Notre Dame, but Duce Knight to go through the Elite 11 process, make the final 11 cut, be close to winning MVP, is only spelling that that's going to translate to doing well for the team. He might be a starter in his second year. The talent's there. So Elite 11 does a great job of identifying and giving you a snapshot of who are these guys that you're going to have to pay attention to in the college football the next 3 or 4 years. Hell, Spencer won the Elite 11. Spencer Rattler won the Elite 11. I've been talking about Spencer Rattler for a minute. So is it a surprise? So it is a surprise?
According to he's doing his thing in Saints camp. That's a lot of people. It's a lot.
And I told you, I said he can throw the best out of all the quarterbacks in the grade or the class. Obviously, people going to have their opinions about him off the field, but who cares? Because when they're evaluating football and his skills, he's got them. That's why even if he doesn't start, he'll hang around the league a long time because some people can just throw that rock. So I'm not surprised at all. Hell, I'm not surprised he don't go in as a backup into the season just because he's a naturally gifted thrower. But that's what matters when it comes to quarterbacking. But hell, he won the Elite 11. So even back then they knew, right? So, yeah, it's not the perfect science. The Elite 11 is not the perfect science, but it's 90% accurate. So testament to those guys for scavenging the whole country, doing all these regional camps all over the world, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of quarterbacks, and you break it down to 20 and then break that 20 down to 11. That's some hard work to find the snapshot of the future of college football. And like I said, if you see your team in that 11 that make it, you just know your team's going to have a good chance of having some success in the next few years.
Yeah. It is. It's definitely one of those things where you look at it and you say, how beneficial is it? Well, Duce Knight being on this stage and being the quarterback along with Keelan Russell that everyone is talking about coming out of the event, and his elevation possibly from a 4-star to a solidified 5-star across all recruiting platforms is huge in recruiting. It's huge for the 25 class. It's huge in the process of Notre Dame trying to close on big-time wide receivers. Once again, go over to boards, irishbreakdown.com. And I'm telling you, man, the feedback from the official visits that we've gotten after these players are going on to take other official visits after the Notre Dame visits, Notre Dame and the advantage that they had coming out of those visits seems to be holding up. It has to go throughout the fall. There are some players that are going to be making some decisions. I believe Jadon Blair is right around July 6th or something like that. Tanuke Hines, I think, announced and said his decision was going to be around July 5th, if I'm not mistaken. So you got some big-time decisions coming up, and Notre Dame is sitting pretty. So around the holiday, Notre Dame could be solidifying themselves with two elite athletes. Thanks, Jason Smith. Both are on July the 5th. So on July the 5th, Notre Dame could literally be adding, in my opinion, a top 50 player and a top 100 wide receiver. And
what position though?
Safety, top 50 safety. And Tanuke Hines, he's also on the 5th. Let me tell you something. Because I know everybody's excited about 6'5", 210 from Bishop Gorman. Tanuke Hines is number 1 on my list. You talk about the must-get wide receiver? It's Tanuke Hines for me for 2 reasons, Left. For 2 reasons. If you get Derek Meadows, 6'5", but you know what he hasn't done? Hasn't really produced at that level yet. Haven't
Right.
seen. He's
He
been
has,
a Bishop
he has
Gorman.
that potential. He has that
He
potential.
hasn't shown me that he can be the guy.
Yeah.
Tanuke has shown me that he can be the guy and is the guy. And you know what it means? If Notre Dame closes on Tanuke, they beat Steve Sarkisian in Texas.
Yep.
Think about that, love. Think about the message it sends.
Because they just got Bell, probably the best quarterback in his class, committed to Texas.
They already got Arch waiting.
Arch gonna be there for a good minute. I don't know why Dia would go there. Because Arch gonna probably be the
Arch is gonna play next year and be gone. He's only playing 1 year if he doesn't play.
You think he's only playing one?
Yes.
No way. No way. No.
Yes.
What?
Yes. If Arch Manning plays that 1 year and is viewed as a top 5 pick, why would he stay?
Well, he's not gonna play this year.
No. That's my point.
So he's gonna be a junior starting. He's definitely got to get 2 years in. I don't care if your name is Manning. You need at least some. You need some games.
Left. You just said that Manning name like it does not hold weight. Come on now. Come on, man. Stop.
It doesn't hold weight in the scheme of you being a good player.
So if
it
he is wait.
Somewhere.
So if Arch Manning comes out as a junior, first year as a starter, and goes to New York and is sitting on that Heisman front row.
You're saying he did good that year, though.
Of course. What are you talking? If he sucks, this is not even a conversation.
I'm not gonna say he sucks. I'm gonna say he needs 2 years.
If he's average, it's not even.
If he's average, he's leaving. No.
If it's average, he needs to come back. But I'm saying if he balls out, because he's gonna have plenty of talent around him.
Oh, for sure, he got the best talent, and he looked pretty damn good in that spring game. He was like 16 for 16.
Yeah, if he balls out in his first year start, oh yeah, what are we talking about? That's why Bell went there.
That would make me upset.
That's why Bell went there, because he knows.
Oh, okay. So Dia looking at a 2-year sit, and then he's in there.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
But man, honestly, the buzz around Duce Knight, matched with the fact that Notre Dame is trying to close on wide receivers in the 25 class. They literally have 3 spots with 4 candidates. Duce Knight's performance spoke volumes. And all of the wide receivers literally just spent time with Duce Knight on their visits.
Yeah, and then he goes out.
And
start throwing with the guys on the team.
It's like Notre Dame just had the perfect opportunity, bro. Perfect opportunity and moment put right in front of them. And all they have to do is seize it right now, bro. They have to seize this moment. Pop out and show cats. That's it. Pop out and show them. So let's go through this accuracy. What are they doing with it? How many throws do they get per quarterback? Because this is really limited, right? You said it's a snapshot.
Yeah, it's a snapshot because, obviously this isn't tackle and guys aren't winning no games, but it's a snapshot in terms of skill set. So you got different competitions throughout the week. You got a accuracy challenge, you got a pro day challenge, you got things that they win many competitions for. But the one that won the accuracy competition with us, he wasn't that great. But it is like, for instance, Julian Lewis. Julian Lewis won the pro day. He scored a perfect score. Like, that's indicative of him being a top 5 draft pick.
So what is the pro day?
What
is the pro day?
So the pro day challenge is where you just go through about 15 throws. You're working from the end zone to end zone. Start off with some softballs, throw some swings, throw some check downs, throw some slants. Then you do some rolling out and you throw it. So it's like a pro day script. They would say, oh, this is your future pro day run through. Now these things last all night. You got to run through 20 scripts, film it. It's a whole thing. So you got a little bit of anxiety because you're waiting around, waiting for your turn, and watching guys go before you. But for Julian Lewis to get a perfect score, I mean, it just encapsulates why I think he's the best quarterback. I didn't know about the Kelvin guy from Mississippi before.
Jalen Russell, yeah.
Russell, I didn't know too much, but I knew about Julian Lewis. So him scoring a perfect score is indicative. Like the highest score when I was there was like a 45, and that was by Tua. I scored a 40, but Tua scored a 45. And for Julian to get a perfect score, it just shows you that he's in full command of what he's doing at the position. He's very talented. He's very technically sound. And that's a great depiction of who's ready more so day one. Mm-hmm. I think Julian could definitely be a day one starter wherever he goes. Probably not USC unless they got another Heisman guy in front of him. But I think he might go to Indiana. I don't know. But I just know, like, once you see something like that, just expect Julian Lewis to be taking over your TV, just like Deuce. Deuce was the on-3 MVP for the camp, and they go by a different set of grades or whatever, but Deuce was always in the top 5 throughout the week. He was in the top 5 throughout the whole week. So It's good to see that means his talent is there. We ain't talking about running the ball. We ain't talking about nothing else other than arm talent. And Deuce has been impressive showing that.
Now, Quincy Avery, when he joined us over at Patreon, that interview is still up. He's flat out said, look, man, because he had just really come into, I think this was like his first time really seeing Deuce. Right before he talked to us, he said it was the first time he laid eyes on Deuce at a camp, a 7-on-7. And he told us even then, bro, this was at the beginning of this year. He told us then, hey, Juju is like top tier and polished, but he was like, the ceiling for Duce Knight
is crazy.
It's crazy.
He
was like, this is my first time seeing him.
Because you start thinking of all the things that is possible.
Yeah.
Oh, he's 6'5", and he's fast. Oh, and he can throw, and he can. So it's like when you can just keep naming more and more traits and qualities, you just think of more and more opportunities and things that come up that you can expand with this kid in an offense that, like for Denbrock, is wide open. Denbrock's best ability is to coach to the strength of his quarterback, in my opinion. So for a guy like Duce Knight, he probably licking his chops thinking this is similar to what I had, but a bigger version of a Jaden Daniels. Taller, runs a little faster, arm talent out the wazoo. He's handled pressure well. So I think these are the opportunities that, what Elite 11 brings. Elite 11 excites the next step for you, and it also prepares you because you get that name going, which is pretty interesting. And I think Deuce has done everything you're supposed to do going into the type of expectation, the situation that he's going into. Mm-hmm. He's handling it like a 5-star quarterback. A little different than CJ. I think Deuce has had more coming in to school than CJ, but Deuce has handled it quite the same. So I do think that it's going to be real interesting to see how Marcus Freeman and Gino Guidugli and Denbrock and everybody included handles that situation. Because in 2-3 years from now, it's going to be a hot topic. Maybe even 2.
Could be interesting. After the pro day, what's the next? You got the accuracy and the pro day.
Then
is the accuracy? Let me ask you a question. The accuracy, is that the least important? Because you said the year that you went, the person that won the accuracy ended up being
because the accuracy part is more like a game. It's like a carnival game. You have to shoot it through the hoops, and the hoops be double rimmed. You're like, okay. Oh my God, yeah. So you just run around throwing through targets. So it's like, yeah, you're precise, you're accurate, but that's not gonna sway me to think you just much more better quarterback. So if you want to get good at that, you just go in your backyard, tie up a couple tires, and just start throwing through them. That's essentially what the accuracy part is. Now, when you get to the nitty gritty, you'll get a 2-minute drill where you'll have 2 minutes versus, well, when I was there, I don't know if they do it now, but you had a 2-minute drill. Everybody got a 2-minute drill versus the defense, and you had whoever. They threw you with whoever. Now I think they put the top receivers with top quarterbacks, but we was throwing JUCO receivers. That was a challenge. I think that's more fun. You got to throw the lesser talented receivers. That means you got to be better quarterback. You got to make those guys look good. Mm-hmm. So you'll get a 2-minute, and then the last thing they end with is like a red zone. So, you know, you get a red zone challenge. You get like 10 plays and the 10 going in, and everything's graded. So those to me are like decision-making wise the better drills to determine whether you're worth a damn or not. I think the pro day is different than the accuracy challenge because the pro day, you're seeing if you can make all the throws.
Yeah.
Which, you know, you'll be surprised. A lot of guys can't make that cross-field throw. A lot of kids can't be consistent on, you know, hitting open receivers. I mean, I didn't know that's crazy to hear, but yeah, that's a big part of it. Can you be consistent on hitting guys without defense on them?
You know what's the amazing thing with all the clips that I saw from Deuce?
Yeah.
That dude is literally a flick of the wrist, bro.
Yeah, he throws like he just
like it's almost like he's throwing darts. Like it's literally
he's not fully extending his arm. Like it's just more like that.
You know,
which I mean, to have control over that is interesting for me because I'm like, yeah, I mean, you kind of just flicking it. You ain't throwing it. But I think he'll I mean, maybe that's how he does it. Shit, I know Aaron Rodgers flicks it. So
but the accuracy, there's multiple people that have watched him this summer say that usually the first reps might be a little bit off.
Oh, absolutely.
But once he gets into it and lathers up, oh, it's a show. It's an absolute show of every aspect. Footwork, arm strength, accuracy, anticipation. It's just, man, his ability.
I wonder who he's training with. I wonder who he's training with.
You know what? At this point, man, I don't want anybody to touch him. Leave him alone. Don't touch him. Just let him get to the South Bend.
Let him breathe. Let him breathe.
Yeah, leave him alone, man. Just let him go out and dominate his senior year. Stay healthy and make it to South Bend. That's it. That's it.
We'll just make it to South Bend.
Just make it to South Bend. Sign on the dotted line in December and make it to South Bend, man. What else can you ask for? So how biased, unbiased should people, or how much value should people put into these rankings? Where On3 had him as the MVP, the overall winner, Keelan Russell, going to Alabama. You know, others, I think CJ Carr was in the top 5 pretty much every event last year. So for the second consecutive year, a Notre Dame quarterback performs well in the Elite 11. How much value does that have? We already talked about the recruiting value, but how much value does that have for the young man going into his senior season and on to college?
Well, it's just a huge confidence booster because at the end of the day, the same guys you're competing with are the same guys you're going to see and be your rivals in college. Same guys you're going to be competing with at the top of the charts for stats and numbers and votes for Heisman and this, that, and the third. So getting that one up or that edge definitely gives you a huge confidence going into college where you're like, okay, I done seen the best out of my class. Now, when I go into college, I know that those guys are going to come up again. So it's a race. Who's going to be the first to start out of the group? Who's going to be the first to be noticed as a potential first-round pick out of the group? So to have that placement, quote unquote, it's a placement in your mind. Okay, I done beat the Ohio State quarterback in Elite 11. I know our team will beat him if we ever played. That sort of thing. So for a confidence booster, it's huge. It's huge. I think Deuce is going to go in there a lot more confident, knowing that he's already competed against the best in his arena and that he can go do it again with the right coaching and team around him. So for the fans to feel good about it is hell yeah. If you got your quarterback the top 5 amongst other top quarterbacks, my school's definitely got to be good, unless my coaching sucks. So I do think that Notre Dame got him one. with a Duce Knight, and just the ability that you're not going to be able to tell from throwing the football in shorts and shirts. He's going to give you another element that when he gets there, you're going to be like, okay, you put that with that, we might have something. And I think that's what's going to carry him over to being pushed to start a little earlier, because he can do some things that other guys on the roster just can't. Because if it was ever all equal, and you're like, well, all three of them can get it done throwing, then naturally, Deuce's other quality is just greater than the other two.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I remember when Keelan Russell decommitted and then went to Alabama and ended up committing to them. I was like, okay, I'm going to have to watch this kid. But I liked his film, though. I really did. And both of them are like long, slender kids. Like Duce Knight. Deuce is the type of athlete. Deuce can play Viper. Deuce can play safety. Deuce could play anywhere on the football field and be a 5-star. He could literally be a 5-star safety. He could probably be a 5-star Viper rush in. I think they measured him. His arms are like, if I'm not mistaken, his arms are ridiculous. His arm length is ridiculous. He ran a 4.5 at the Irish Invasion.
A 4.5.
A 4.5 left.
Damn. Nah, that's pretty good.
6'5", 215, bro. Yeah, Brian Roberts. Brian Roberts said his he just put in the chat 35-inch arms.
God damn. Okay, yeah, he's just a specimen, you know, like you could just do so much with that. Like, how do you not get excited about something like that?
So you think the rankings are pretty accurate though from your time there? You didn't see any biases in the background when you were a contributor, counselor? You feel like the way they grade things out, it ends up being pretty fair?
I mean, it's not perfect. Nowadays, you're getting these slighted, jaded rankings due to pressure from schools being bigger than other schools and guys being in the pockets of other guys, and, you know, biases are taking over a lot more than they were before. So, like, we didn't have other recruiting services come in and rank their top MVPs and shit. So at this point, it's kind of hard unless you're there and watching each rep to kind of take the word of some of these guys being bought and paid for. We're not bought and paid for, so we tell the truth. Some of these guys are just, but if On3 has Deuce being a top 5 guy, I could take that more with a grain of salt than him just being like, oh, he's the best guy, without a doubt, you know. So him being hanging around that top 3 placement, top 5 placement, I think that's all he needed to do, you know, because I think winning it all is very subjective. You know, they picking and choosing. It's him, the guy winning it doesn't mean that he's necessarily the best player ever, but that's just their preference. If you made it to the Elite 11, you're on the right track. Winning the Elite 11 is like, okay, they just like this guy at the end of the day. He just had a hot day, you know, whatever. But if you measure yourself based on how you hanging at 11 the whole week. If you in the 11 and you bottom 10, 11 all week, I don't know.
Yeah.
If you 3, like I was 3 the whole time until the last day and I was 9. And they was doing that psychological thing. But Deuce was hanging around that top 5 the entire week. So
CJ did the same thing last year.
Exactly. So that just tells you that you're getting a guy that can get the job done. It's just now, what are the other factors around him? Like CJ's benefit was he's a great recruiter. Similar to Deuce. Deuce is a similar good recruiter. But CJ knows that recruiting is going to be his strength if he's going to go in there and have success early. Because from a talent-wise, how much better can CJ get? He's not going to get that much faster.
See, when you're talking about ceiling, right? That's what you're talking about. Because if people can take that and run with it. Like you said, run to a message board. Like, oh man, Lucky Lefty hates CJ Carr, all this stuff. Talking about ceiling. Ceiling comes from just
his ceiling's high. I mean, I'm sorry. His talent is high, but his ceiling is not. I don't see him doing something generationally talented.
Thank you.
I think he has the talent to be very consistent, very, very solid. You know, we won't be like, oh, he needs to work on his technique or, oh, he can't throw it. He'll just be a good quarterback. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. We're comparing a guy that's going to be good to a guy that potentially can be a first pick of the draft. Like, what are we talking about? Because CJ, this is what I mean by ceiling. CJ can have the best career and best numbers and still go second, third round regardless because he's not a freak of nature. First round guys are usually getting picked because they're freaks. They're 6'9", 300, run a full fold. You're going first round. CJ at his best is a third round, second round pick, and that's okay.
Well, that depends. If he performs,
I'm sorry.
That depends. He can
if
get
we're just talking straight. If CJ goes in there and wins a championship, absolutely first round. I'm just saying it.
We just watched JJ McCarthy get picked in.
Well, JJ McCarthy 63-3 all time since high school.
And he is, I would consider JJ a better athlete than CJ Carr.
Absolutely.
JJ McCarthy, I'm sorry.
CJ is just good enough to play quarterback. Like you just said, Sean, you said Deuce could go play safety and be a 5-star and be a receiver and be. CJ can't play nothing else but quarterback. That's why we say the ceiling's only so far.
I forgot to say this, and Ryan Roberts put it in the chat. Not only did this man measure out with 35-inch arms, this man ran a 4.5 and has a vert of 42 inches.
Yeah, like, come on, man. What are we talking about?
Playing quarterback.
Playing quarterback. Like, CJ doesn't have those numbers, and it's not that he has to have them, but when you're talking about separation and how far can you really push your own individual athleticism, this is a kid that's in high school still with a 42-inch vertical, 4'5", 6'5", arm out the wazoo. Yeah. So it's like, can CJ go in there and win a bunch of games? Yes. Can Deuce win those same amount of games and then come out with a Heisman? It can happen. It can happen. Some guys just got some things that other guys don't.
Now, are you concerned? I've noticed this. All the great clips we've seen for Deuce have been throws to the left or either throws over the middle. I really haven't seen a lot of clips of him throwing to his right. Is that natural for a left-hander to be more?
For me, no.
I'm just asking.
For me, I'm all over the field. I have a quarterback right now. For instance. He's a right-handed quarterback, never throws left. I'm talking about we had to change some plays to put the receivers that's supposed to get the ball on the right side because he just refused. I don't know if it's just a natural thing. He just refuses to throw to the left. So, yeah, there's quarterbacks like that. But the quarterback I'm talking about right now, he can throw. He can throw. The quarterback I'm talking about now, he can throw. He does good. He just only throws to the right side. So, yeah, Deuce in high school, he probably only had to throw to the right or the left side. That's why, I mean, because you put your best receiver over there, you're 6'5", run a 4.5, and better than everybody on the field. Sometimes you're probably forcing throws because it's high school, you know. So, yeah, he'll be challenged, which while you go to college and you develop a wider range of offense and develop your skills to be more all over the map. In high school, he probably is not challenged to have to do more than that. So I don't think that's a knock on him, but he will have to grow out into something bigger than that if he's the guy that we believe he is. Hell, there's guys in college right now that's, if the first thing's not there, they're taking off and running. I mean, probably most of college football. Except your top like Quinn Ewers and all of that. But other than that, most guys are first read and take off. Tyler Buckner. And he was a potential 5, you know what I'm saying? He was potential 5-star.
Yeah. Hey, man. things are trending very well. So that is Duce Knight, his performance this summer, lighting up every camp he's been to, the impact of his Elite 11 performance on recruiting, doubling up the performance of CJ Carr in last year's Elite 11, and how that continues to, man, just send the Notre Dame recruiting on a higher trajectory moving forward into the 26 class. We also talked about Chicago's impact, recruiting. How should we view it? What does Notre Dame need to do? Got into that. And let's talk about closing, right? I have my rankings for the wide receiver position. Look, Tanuk Hines 1, Dylan Robinson 2, Derek Meadows 3, John Anthony Hall, the Hoosier kid, coming in 4th as far as importance for me, the remaining board, and where they sit in importance from myself. This is not a reflection of how Notre Dame possibly sees them at all. Derek Meadows, to me, is like a lot of people view Derek Meadows as a must get. I don't see that, right?
No.
Because I don't view this class as a desperation class. And the reason I don't see this wide receiver class as a desperation class is because of Cam Williams, Logan Sadate, and Gilbert.
Yeah, we forgot about Cam Williams.
And what I believe they can become and who they are. 25 class, you need to get quality depth and then set yourself up with Mike Denbrock and Mike Brown having a full year of evaluation of kids and having kids come to their camps this spring and this summer. And then really go attack the top wide receivers in the 26 classes and the 26 and 27 classes. That's my opinion. That's why I don't have this view of Derek Meadows like, oh, man, we got to get Derek Meadows. We got to get Derek. No, it would be wonderful. Who doesn't want a 6'5", 210-pound wide receiver that's, man, mossing everybody on film, but yet and still you haven't seen his production when he's recognized as the guy. He still has something to prove.
Because that's the expectation thing. It's one thing to ball when nobody's caring.
Yeah.
And what Mike Beasley said, most people don't want to be great because they're going to be asked to do it again. That's why most people don't, because they're going to be like, do it again. They can't do it again.
That'll preach, bro.
So for a guy like a Duce Knight, I think he has the ability to do it again. Can he do it again? I don't know. But when you got that much talent and you got the type of coaches that we have, I just find it hard to believe that they won't put Duce in the best position to get the most out of that talent. And that's for all our quarterbacks. I believe that much in our staff. But, you know, if that's the case, talent should take over and Duce should be our starter in the near future.
Yeah. So those are my rankings, man. I got Tanuk, Dylan Robinson, then Meadows, and then John Anthony Hall. I just really don't think Meadows, you know, is this, man, we got to get this. And that has nothing to do with whether or not I think he's that talented. It has everything to do with, look, Tanuk Hines is the explosiveness that I think we don't have in surplus in that wide receiver room. That's a must, in my opinion. That's a must, in my opinion. Dylan Robinson is a kid that's running a 4.49. That's a bigger body kid. Not as big as Derek Meadows, but he's still a bigger body kid. Give me that. With the ability to, man, I've seen production, the ability to separate on his film. I've seen that being the guy. I've seen it.
Being the guy, yeah.
Yes. And the impact of taking Tanuk Hines, who is basically maybe the next Xavier Worthy at Texas, the message it would send, taking a kid from Texas and getting him to commit to Notre Dame. Yes. That's what I'm talking. That's stepping out. That's stepping out and showing Texas, Ohio State, Bama, Georgia. right? If you win Derek Meadows and he signs with Notre Dame, you have stared Alabama down.
Yeah.
You have stared Alabama down. So look, even if
is Alabama even the standard of recruiting anymore?
At the wide receiver position, this is the same staff that put that same wide receiver crew together for Washington, bro. Washington has been able to recruit wide receivers. That's one of their specialties.
I mean, I don't know, man. I give so much respect to Nick Saban and what he's been able to do that I just find it hard for them not to lose a couple steps. I'm not discrediting Kalen DeBoer, who you know, he's done a lot of good things in a short amount of time.
Bro,
But
they're literally on 4 of the top 9 wide receivers in the class.
There's some residue. All it takes is one bad year from Jalen Milroe, and that'll change quick.
That's all I'm saying, bro.
Look at Ohio State. Ohio State don't go out there and produce a quarterback. They won't have a top receiver room in the near future. I guarantee it. I don't even know what that quarterback is now. Will Howard, Devin Brown, Noah Brown, whatever his name is. I do like Aaron Nolan. I think he's gonna be nice.
Why? Because he's a lefty.
Hey, you said it, not me. They got Julian saying over there. I've seen Julian play. He's nice. But you know,
Aaron Nolan performed well at the Elite 11 last year.
That's right. And Julian saying won it. Mm-hmm. So Ryan Day gonna have to prove he can coach this year. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, hey, they paid for enough. They paid for the roster this year.
$20 million in their roster right now.
Can we officially say if Ryan Day doesn't win this year, he's trash?
Oh, you have to. You have to.
If everybody's talking about this, everyone's talking about this being a put up or shut up year for Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman, and I've said that. Ryan Day, my brother, I'm not even about to speak about your job security. If you don't win a championship with this roster that you bought and paid for, or that the alumni paid for, you're trash as a head coach, bro. You're trash. You're absolute trash. And I know people will say, yo, he was a field goal away from beating Georgia just a couple of years ago. He's trash. We don't want to talk about that double-digit lead he gave up in the fourth quarter with like 10 minutes left. We don't want to talk about that. We just want to bring it down to the field goal that was attempted and missed.
That's a little petty.
Come on, bro. You're a Notre Dame coaching staff gaff from losing on the road to Notre Dame last year.
What's our situation in the special teams looking like? Do we get a kicker yet?
Yes, the Australian kicker. They went out and got an Australian.
Oh, that's right. Oh, okay, yeah.
They got a transfer kicker. What are you talking about? The transfer kicker wasn't there for the spring.
35 years old.
He was there. I'm sorry, he was there for the spring. They got the transfer kicker from South Carolina. Remember?
Oh, that's right. I'm trying to think. Which one is the 35-year-old?
That's the Australian punter.
Punter, yes. Okay, see, we're gonna have some flavor. You know, we're gonna have some flavor on these trips, which is good because I think at the end of the day, you need a bit of variety when you're playing a schedule like we do because it's such a national one. You know, you're playing in California, you're playing in Atlanta, you're playing in Indiana, you're playing in Chicago, you're playing playing in Texas, hell. So it does make sense for us to be widespread on the roster like that. Mm-hmm. I just think that
I didn't like that miss. I'll be honest, I didn't like that missed field goal in the scrimmage though.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like.
Yeah. He missed one in the scrimmage the week before as well.
Are we not?
So I'm just saying.
Are we overlooking or under? Was it underlooking that position? Are we overlooking?
That's your boy, right? That's Marty Biaggi. That's your boy.
Nah, he's working on secondary right now.
No, I want to hear that.
Hold on, now he got to split roles now. He got to split some roles up.
That's what we're doing now.
The man is only one guy. He only do one thing.
We're giving excuses. Mike Mickens coaches DB, cornerbacks, and safeties, right?
See, but that's the same family. You jump into techniques and different formations, and Marty Biaggi got a lot on his plate, but he can handle it. I'm just saying, he's just one man. He can't be in 3 places at once. That's all I'm saying.
All right, man. Lucky Lefty podcast. So let's talk about Mon-Fri and where Notre Dame sits with him. I think we pretty much, Brian Roberts has done a fantastic job getting about as much as he can out of this young man. Because early on, he was able to talk to the young man, and then all of a sudden, just cold silent. But the visit, once again, shout out. We talked about how important the support staff is, because we see the on-field coaches, but the support staff behind the scene and what they've done to help with the recruiting efforts has been nothing short of exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. Chad Bowden.
Yep.
Carter Osmond.
And we kept Chad.
Amir
Chad was
Carlisle.
They was trying to get Chad up out of here.
Absolutely. And assistants all over the place helping out that support those guys. Kudos to them. Tip of the cap. You get recognition from the Lucky Lefty podcast.
That's right.
You matter as well. Every little thing matters. And your efforts deserve a standing ovation or a round of applause from ND Nation. But Mon-Fri pretty much, look, Washington, Oregon, Texas, they're, once again, Left, what have we been saying? You have to recruit these kids all the way up to signing day. You have to. There is no, we can take our foot off the gas. Nope, you can't. Nathaniel Owusu Boateng, same thing. Ohio State, Notre Dame, USC.
That's a legacy thing. Yeah,
pretty much Notre Dame, Ohio State. He just visited Ohio State.
You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong.
He just visited Ohio State. The vibe is still the same coming out of the Notre Dame official visit. Family is very important. He's going to do his due diligence to make sure that that's not the only reason he chooses Notre Dame, which is he should do that. He should do that. But at the end of the day, he knows what time it is. I feel like he knows what time it is. Notre Dame just has to seal the deal with this season as well.
That's right.
Talk about phone calls, all of that. Notre Dame 11-1, like Trevor Morris said early in the show, 11-1 at the worst, and then a couple of games in the playoffs minimum. Let's go. Heck, send Riley Leonard to New York. Get it all. I'm greedy.
You saying he's New York worthy?
Hey, man, look. I said I'm greedy. I might as well. If I'm asking for the other stuff, I might as well throw other stuff on the list.
I think if he gets 3,900 yards, 1,200 yards rushing, he can win it.
Okay. There it is. I think it's very possible. I'll be flat out honest. Jadon Blair. He went to Florida State, had a visit. Then he went to Michigan, had a visit. I'm going to be honest, man. They took a photo of him with the Star Wars lightsaber in that dark Michigan uniform. It was a pretty dope photo. I had to keep it a buck.
Man, shout out to these content teams on these campuses. Oh, they coming up with all type of photo shoots.
That saber was dope. That vibe was dope. Absolutely amazing. And then once again, kudos to his dad, the way he's handling his brand, the way he promotes his son, the way he promotes every visit. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. Man. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do.
Everybody's doing what this is getting to the point where start showing some practice film. Start giving the fans some clips at practice on just what we think is going to take off this year. Because I feel good that this summer camp is going to be a real eye-opener for the guys on the team, but as well as the coaches to be like, look at what we've built.
Yeah. So I think Penn State is his last visit. And Jameer Joseph, another defensive back prospect or recruit, just committed to Penn State after his official visit to Notre Dame. He committed shortly after his Penn State visit. But Jadon Blair, I think right now I feel really good about his decision on July the 5th, possibly going the way of the Fighting Irish. I really do. Derek Meadows, we know what it is. It's Alabama. Notre Dame. A lot of people felt like Notre Dame did everything they could to kind of make it a battle with Alabama. And Washington was probably his leader, and that staff went to Alabama, which makes this a very interesting recruitment that I think goes down to the wire. And he just visited Alabama, and Notre Dame feels good. This to me is going to be a battle that could come down to Riley Leonard and the wide receivers. Right? Like who has Riley Leonard, the wide receivers, Mike Denbrock versus the Washington staff, Jalen Milroe, and those guys. I mean, it could be a young man taking his game day visits, taking his game day official visits, and then sitting there and saying, yo, this is what the Bama offense looks like. This is what the Notre Dame offense looks like this year. And it's literally going to come down to the wire. Notre Dame does have a feather in the cap that they were the first big-time offer for Derek Meadows. We talked about how important that is.
Yeah.
They have that feather, right?
Another has a relationship with Derek Meadows.
Another feather they have in their cap is Derek Meadows was a big-time priority at Washington. But once that staff switched over to Alabama, it took them a while before they offered him again. Why is that? Some people might say, I saw some people in the chat the other day say, well, it's because they were trying to retain their own players. Nah, I've seen staff switch and make offers the very next day and call kids and let them know, like, yo, we want you to come with us. But they took their time. And if I was Notre Dame, I would play into that. Like, they're not making you a high priority. They can say you're a high priority, but look at what they did. They didn't call you right off the bat. They didn't give you that Alabama offer right off the bat. They waited until you went and performed at the Battle of Miami, 7-on-7, and clown down there. Then they wanted to come to your doorstep. What took so long? We've been here the entire time. But we'll see. Hey, everything matters, bro. Everything matters to Nuke Hines. Yo, Texas, USC, Notre Dame. If Notre Dame can beat Texas and USC for an elite wide receiver left, you know what that means, man?
That means we're changing as a perceived program.
Mm-hmm. That's huge. His commitment date, July 5th. July 5th could be really important. Remember a couple of years ago, July 4th and the 5th, I think in 3 consecutive days on the 3rd, 4th, and 5th in that 24 class, that 23 class, Notre Dame got Christian Gray. I think it was like, forget who committed. It was like 3 consecutive days. Notre Dame just, man, bam, bam, bam. July the 5th could have that type of impact. I want to say it was Jay Lamar, Christian Gray. I forget who the third person was. Dylan Robinson. His last visit was UCLA, Notre Dame. Washington might be someone to watch in this recruitment. But Notre Dame is, man, I feel really good about Dylan Robinson. To me, to Nuke Hines would be like a kid that's like, man, that kid chose Notre Dame. Dylan Robinson is like, oh yeah, that's a Notre Dame kid. Like, yeah, that's a Notre Dame kid. Family loves Notre Dame. School, grades, vibe, who he is as a young man, and then the talent. That's a Notre Dame kid. To Nuke Hines coming to Notre Dame would be a shock to a lot of people left.
You think so? But it sounds like the stars are aligning, though.
Yeah, but the best wide receivers in Texas don't
leave. They usually don't leave Texas.
They don't leave Texas. Especially they don't say no to Steve Sarkisian.
It's going to be hard to now. It's gonna be hard too now because they're getting all the top transfers from Alabama. They get in the SEC, you get Adonai Mitchell, get Isaiah Bond. They just got the best quarterback coming in. They got Arch Manning. So it's gonna be hard as a receiver to not look at that and be like,
that's my point.
They got Deshaun Elliott got drafted, and I mean, Texas is sneakily became one of the more attractive programs in the last 3 or 4 years, dating back to, in my opinion, that Alabama loss was actually a good thing for their program.
Yeah.
Where they played Bryce Young at home. And I don't think anybody expected them to play that well to the point where it was almost considered a win because they had Nick Saban shaking in his boots, right? So I think Steve Sarkisian has found the right program that he can exist in. Not like USC, where even him at USC still couldn't get no defense. At Texas, you can build a defense, get an O-line, and him being a quarterback guru, he's got the quarterbacks in, and overnight, team has changed.
Yeah. So I love when Notre Dame did their thing. The chips are going to fall where they may. No one can sit here and say Notre Dame didn't do everything they needed to do. It's going to come down whether or not they close on and off the field. The season matters. The season matters. And then, like you say, the word you use all the time, retention. They're going to have to retain this class. Because it's a darn good class now, but you have to retain it. You have to retain the class and close on the guys that are left on the board. But fortunes seem like they're going to be really good moving forward for Notre Dame. Last but not least, Ivan Taylor. Visit coming up to Michigan. I want to say it's taking place this weekend. The Alabama visit was before the Notre Dame visit. He's still committed to the class. Notre Dame doing a really good job, letting the young man do his due diligence, right? There are a lot of people that might feel like it's really not him pushing the envelope when it comes to these official visits. Has a great relationship with fellow commit Ethan Long. Great relationship with the rest of the recruits. That was evident on his official visit. You saw the energy in their photo shoots. Definitely. Duce Knight has put out, he's not going anywhere, or he's not leaving. I think it's the hashtag he's not leaving that Duce Knight retweeted and put up on his social media. So the players feel very confident. That's in stark contrast. Now, if someone wants to have a reference point, let's use Peyton Bowen, right? Similar, they play the same position, similar situation, kept taking visits, even though he was committed to the class. Notre Dame allowed him to do so. Eventually, they got burned. I can tell you, there were players in that class that had no clue what was going on because Peyton Bowen had really stopped communicating. That is not the case with Ivan Taylor. That is not the case with Ivan Taylor. Peyton Bowen flat out was on Zoom calls. They wouldn't hear from him. No longer playing video games with him the same way that he was.
Yeah.
Switched it up. But the whole time, I'm in the class, I'm coming. I'm in the class, I'm coming. And there was his dad, according to reports, that was the one that was really pushing him to continue to go to Oklahoma, him to continue looking at other schools like Oregon. I'm hearing some of the same things, that is people outside of Ivan himself that are really pushing for things. But even with that taking place, he is very much locked in with the class and has not switched up and has been very honest. Ryan Roberts talks to him more than anyone, and Ryan comes away feeling like, yo, the kid is being very honest when he says he's still committed to Notre Dame. So you take that for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. Thanks for everybody that joined today. They had the press conference yesterday, bro.
Okay.
The guys are back on campus. So let's do another show and hear what the Bo Collins of the world had to say, the Carson Hobbs of the world. They finally arrived on campus.
All right. We're talking about young guys.
Yes, sir. Let's hear what they had to say as they met the Notre Dame media for the first time. We'll talk about that the next time. We'll let you guys know. I don't know if it's going to be tonight. Maybe we might pop out and do a Saturday show. I don't know if Left has workouts tomorrow.
Oh, we definitely get a Saturday show going in. You know, my team's a little different. They really take vacation in July and in the summer. You know, they going on month-long European trips and, you know, lake house visits. And, you know, these boys are well-traveled for a high school team. So I got some free time.
So you got a little NIL package to go look at the 7th and 8th graders, huh, Love?
Yeah.
All right, boy. Have a good Friday. We'll check in with you guys. I think we're going to have a Saturday morning show. If not, we'll let you know on social media. Follow at Lucky Lefty Pod, Instagram, also on X. Subscribe on YouTube. Hit the thumbs up. We appreciate you guys. Leave your comments. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audio Edibles each and every day. Have a fabulous Friday and weekend. But most of all, make sure you continue to spin it different.